Okay, this is going to be the Algebra 1 quarter 1 test review. All right, I'm going to put this all on one video, so it might be a little bit longer than the normal ones. This runs you through all the main concepts of the first quarter. All right, the first question says translate into an algebraic expression 13 more than the square root of the quotient of x and y. Okay, so there's a couple things you need to know. More than means addition. Square root means this. Quotient means division. Okay? So we sort of work a little bit backwards here. Alright? 13 more than the square root of the quotient. Okay? So what I'm going to have is square root. Alright? You can do x divided by y. Okay? So that's the square root of the quotient of x and y. 13 more. Okay? And that's number one. Number two, it says evaluate the expression for this, okay? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the calculator and I'm going to go to menu, all right? I'm going to go to the blank screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it x we want it to be 49, y we want it to be 7. So 49 over, I can use this for x, that saves it for that. Then I do 7 for y, so 7. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick alpha. And y is down here, as you can see. All right? I'm going to hit enter. So I've saved them both. Now, all I got to do is type the expression in just like I see it. 5 square root of x minus 2. That's an absolute value. How I get the absolute value is option, all right, over num, ABS, okay, negative 4 alpha y, okay? And then that should give me an answer, which is going to be negative 21. Okay? For this problem, okay, I'm setting the x is 27 and y is 121. So I'm going to clear this out. All right, I'm going to set x, so 27, arrow x, 121, arrow alpha y is down there. So they're set. Okay? I'm going to type in 4, all right, shift here, that's the cube root of x, minus shift there, square root of alpha y. All right, the answer is 1, okay? So all you got to do is type those in. All right, translate into a verbal expression. So what I have here is I've got a square root of y, all right, so that's a square root, that's a cube root, that's a product. So right there, that's a product. So the way I write this is the sum, because that's what addition means, of the square root of y and, okay, 3 times the product of the cube root 7 and x. Okay, and that's sort of long. Okay, all right. That's the written out version of this. Okay, simplify using positive exponents. Okay, so what I should do is I should treat that problem in 2. So with that, I'm going to raise the coefficient, multiply the exponent. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do negative 5, okay, because it's got parentheses around it, raised to the second, gives me 25, okay, and then I'm going to do negative 5 times 2, which is negative 10, okay. Now, what I'm going to do from here, okay, so this rule, this applied to this part. For what I'm going to do here, I'm going to multiply coefficients, and I'm going to add the exponents. Okay? So what I'm going to have is 25 times 8. Whoops. 25 times 8 is 200. If I add those, I get negative 17. So I got 200 x to the negative 17 power. But what negative exponents tell me to do is move them underneath. So it's x to the positive 17. So it moves down and becomes positive. Okay? Simplify. Okay? This is division, so I'm going to divide, okay, the coefficients. That's really messy. Let me clean that up. It's hard to read that. Okay. Divide the coefficients, subtract exponents. So 49 divided by that would be 7. 2 minus that would be 7. Negative 9 minus 10 would be negative 19. Now the only thing that's going to move here is that, so what I'm going to have is x to the 7 stays there. That's going to move under there and become positive. Okay? Alright, another exponent rule. Okay? Alright, once again with this, I'm multiplying the coefficients, adding exponents. You can put in all your hidden ones and zeros. So there's a 1 there. Okay? 7 times 9 would be 63. If I add the 8 and the 3, that would be 11. If I add the 3 and the 1 would be 4. 6 has nothing to add to, so it just stays as 6. Okay? Pretty simple. Alright, that's the end of the first page. Let's go to the second. It says, let me move this down. That's as low as I can get it. Find the area of a rectangle, okay, that's got this, right? The expression that represents the length. Okay, so the idea is with area, it's length times width. Okay, so what I have here is I got to figure out what can I multiply by that would give me that. Okay, all right. If you want to, you can use a single box. Okay, you could use a single box. I have to get it to be 72 x8 y3. Okay, so what you have to think about is what could I get to multiply to get you that. Okay, if you want to, you can use division if you get confused. Okay, and see if that works. All right, that gives me 6. Okay, now is 6 times 12 72? Yes. All right, I got x and I got y. All right, I need this to be 8. So if I'm multiplying, so the concept is you multiply the coefficient, add the exponent. Okay, so the idea is if you have to do that to get to there, if you need to go backwards, you can do that as well. So it's going to be 5. Okay, that's a 1 there. To get to 3 would be that. All right, you can do it that way. You could have right out the gate just done division rule. Okay, this divided by this would have been 6, subtracted. Okay, so that's another way to do it. Simplify the polynomial expression. So this is multiplication. All right, so what I'm going to have is a box where it's a 2 and a negative 7. Okay. Up top, I'm going to have 5x squared, okay, minus 4x plus 1. Okay, 2x times 5x squared would be 10x cubed. Okay, negative 7 times 5x squared would be negative 35x squared. Okay, 2x times negative 4x would be negative 8x squared. Negative 7 times negative 4 would be 28x. 2x times 1 would be 2x. Negative 7 times 1 would be negative 7. So if you notice, the only like terms are these diagonals. So what I have would be 10x cubed. All right, and how do I type it in? I do negative 35, okay, minus 8. All right, and 28 plus 2. Okay, negative 43x squared and 30. Okay, so negative 43x squared. Okay, that was 30x. That was minus 7. Okay, so the diagonals are going to be the ones, okay, all right, so the diagonals, okay, you're going to add or subtract, okay. Simplify the polynomial expression. We are doing division here, okay. All right, if you want to, all right, this is how you can do it. All right, I got 3x squared, and I know I'm divided by x minus 7, okay. So if I know that's the case, this times this has got to give me this. So that's 3x. Okay. All right, that's going to be negative 21x because this times this gets me that. Now, I need to get to negative 17. Now, the way I would get to negative 17 is I would add 4x. Okay. If you want to, all right, the thing you have to double check is that those diagonals give you that middle term. Okay. Unlike factoring, we don't need to check that. All right, so that's going to be 4, and that's going to be negative 28. Okay? Now, what did I get to start? I got x minus 7. Okay. I got this part of this thing here. That's good. So what my answer to the problem is, my answer to the problem is going to be 3x plus 4. And you're finished. Okay? Simplify the polynomial expression. What minus means, right, I can keep this. Minus means turn all those signs around. So as you can see, I went from positive 2, negative 2, negative 5, positive 5, positive 6, negative 6. 6 plus negative 2 would be 4. 3 plus 5 would be 8. And I just have minus 6 there, and there's my answer. Okay? All right, pretty simple. All right, what is the product? Once again, that means multiplication. I'm going to use the boxes again. Okay, 7x and negative 3, 5x and 1. This times this gives me 35x squared. This times this would give me negative 15x. This times this would give me 7x. This times this gives me negative 3. Once again, I add the diagonals. Add or subtract the diagonals. Okay. Let me write diagonals and spell that good. Okay, negative 5 plus 7 would be negative 8 with minus 3 there. So look, I got this to start. I got this to start. So what I need is that interior. Find the perimeter. Okay, perimeter means add up the sides. Okay, if it's a rectangle, you know that's got to be 3x minus 4. You know that's got to be 5x plus 9. Okay, so all you have to do is add up all the x's. 3, 5, 3, 5. Okay, I get 16x. I don't change the x's. They stay the same. I add up the numbers. Okay, so I got, all right, as you can see here, I got negative 4 plus 9 plus negative 4 plus 9. I get 10, positive 10. So there's my answer for that one. Okay, it says, what are the factors of this? Okay. All right, I'm going to check. I don't have any variables in common. Okay, if I check the GCD stuff, all right, I go to num. We go back to the beginning. You go to option, over, num. Okay, on your thing you'll have the GCD button. I do not have it here. Okay, but if you check GCD 5 and 11, that result would give you 1. So if you do GCD 1 and 12, it gives you 1. So I don't have to worry about taking out a number. They don't have any variables. So I can just go 5x squared, negative 12. Okay, I'm multiplying, gives me negative 60x. Okay, going into the calculator, I go to the table, negative 60 divided by x. All right, I'm going to set my table at 0 to negative 60. Exit table. In this case, I'm looking for the set that adds up to negative 11. Okay, all right. And if I go down, that adds up to 11, but if I keep on going down, that adds up to negative 11. So I got negative 15x, okay, and 4x, all right. So what I'm looking to do is take out the GCF, so that's x and x. The only thing in common GCF there would be 1, all right. Common here would be negative 3, common here would be 5, common here would be 4. If the number next to it is negative, it's going to come out as negative. So my factors are 5x plus 4, okay, 1x minus 3. Okay, and that's page 2. All right, moving on to page 3. What are the dimensions of the rectangle with an area of that? Okay, so if you do the GCD of 30 and 34, okay, all right, what that's going to give me is it's going to give me 2 for a result. So 2 and 8, I can take out, so that gives me 2. So if I take out the 2 here, okay, if I take out the 2 here, I got 2. All right, that's going to give me 15x squared minus 17x minus 4. Okay, I'm using boxes once again. 15x squared and negative 4. Okay, all right, I'm multiplying, gives me negative 60. Okay, conveniently I'm looking for the set that adds up to negative 17. believe that, well, that's positive 17. All right, negative 20 and 3 would give me negative 17, because I'm always looking for the set that adds up to that. So negative 20x, all right, positive 3x. All right, so when I go to factor there, all right, x and x, okay. All right, what would come out of here would be negative 4. What would come out of there would be 3. GCF-wise would be 5. All right, it would be 1. Okay, so my dimensions are 3x minus 4. Okay, 5x plus 1. That's my answer. Factor completely. Once again, I would do GCD, 7 and 28. And it would tell me 7. Okay, so in my answer, I know it's going to have that 7. So that's going to be x squared minus 4. Okay, and I'm going to do the boxes for that. Let me move this over a little bit. So that's x squared negative 4. I multiply there, it gives me negative 4. I'll do that over x. Okay, so I'm exiting, I'm doing negative 4 divided by x. All right, set my table. Okay, now, since I don't have a middle term, what I'm doing is I'm looking for the set that adds up to 0. Okay, so no middle term. I'm looking for the set that added up to 0. That was positive 2x and negative 2x. So I'm pulling out x and x there. All right, that's going to be 1. That's going to be positive 2. That's going to be 1. That'll be negative 2. So 1x minus 2, 1x plus 2. Okay, there's your answer on that one. Completely factor, once again, we're going to use boxes. Okay, we're going to use my boxes. I'm going to go in descending order. I'm going to do x, negative 7x squared, 5x, negative 35. When you get the 4 terms, go ahead and just work your way systematically around it. So I got an x here. All right, nothing there. I can actually take out x squared, because that's the smallest x. Okay, all right. It would be 1. It would be negative 7. Okay, it would be 1. It would be positive 5. So what my answer here is 1x squared plus 5, 1x minus 7. Okay, so just go through systematically like that in order. That will help you get the right problem. Express this simply. Okay, so what I would do is go ahead and figure out these numbers. That's 3 and 15, 3 and 5. Okay, since it's a square root, I'm looking for pairs. Okay, so from a number standpoint, it's going to be 3 square root of 5. Only take one of each. Okay, and I can't use that one. All right, to figure out these other ones. All right, so for x, I do 7 divided by 2. Okay, 7 divided by 2. All right, I get. Oh, oops. Let me go back. Hold on. Okay, 7 divided by 2, 3.5. Now, what that means is, all right, I would have 3 on the outside, and since I got the decimal, I'd have the 1 on the inside. Then I do y, 9 divided by 2, okay? So I'm going to do 9 divided by 2. Once again, that's 4.5, okay? So that means y to the 4th on the outside, y to the 1st on the inside. To write my final answer, I just combine both of these, so that's 3x3, y4, square root of 5x1, y1. That's my final answer right there, okay? All right. Reducing this one, this is going to be another one of those big square root problems, okay? I'm going to check to see what I can divide those by. 715 divided by 2, okay, that doesn't work. Okay, 1715 divided by 3, that doesn't work. 1715 divided by 4, nope. 1715 divided by 5, yes, 5 and 343. Okay, 5, 343. Okay, let's see if 343 reduces to. Okay, 343, I believe 7 is going to be the one that's going to, yep, it's going to be 7. Okay, 7 and 49, 7 and 7, okay? Since it's a square root, I'm looking for pairs, okay? So one of those on the outside, and then I can't use this, can't use this. These remaining ones go on the inside. So I got 7 square root of 35. Just like before, I'm going to take x to the 31 divided by 2. I'll do y to the 10th divided by 2. Y to the 10th divided by 2 would be 5. okay? This is going to be 15.5, okay? So what I would have is x15, y5, with x1 on the inside. No y because there's no decimal. And so my final answer for this, if you combine both of those, would be 7x15, y5, square root of 35x, okay? That would be my answer, okay? Simplest form. Now, the difference between this one and the other one is this is a cube, so I'm looking for groups of 3, all right? So 648 divided by 2, oh, whoops. Oops, trash that. Okay, let me clear that out. 648 divided by 2 would be 324. Divided by 2 again. Alright, divided by 2 again would be 162. Divided by 2 again would give me 81. Alright, so 162 divided by 2 would give me 81. Alright, divided by 3 would give me 27. Alright, 3 and 9. Okay, I'm going into the next problem here. Alright, 3 and 3. Alright, so what I'm looking for here are groups of 3. So I got this. Okay, I can't use these anymore. Alright, I got this. I got 1 3 remaining. Okay, so what I got is 2 times 3, cube root of 3. So that's going to be 6 cube root of 3. Okay, alright, and that would give me my final answer there. Alright. Reduce this one, the cube root of 135. I'm going to do that over here, all right, just because I ran out of room. Okay, that's going to be 3 and 45. All right, that's going to be 3 and 15. Okay, that's going to be 3 and 5. Okay, cube root, I'm looking for groups of 3. So that's going to be 3 cube root of 5. And that will be my answer for that one. Which of the following, which can be placed under the radical to make this symbol? If it's square root, that means if I had a 7, okay, all right, that means that in my tree, okay, there had to have been a 7, a 5, and a 5. Why 2 5s? Because it's a square root. So if I multiply all those together, 7 times 5 times 5, I get 175. Okay, and that would be my answer. You can reduce that to check, okay? All right, and that is the unit test. Going back through the unit test, there's a couple key things you want to hit on, okay? As you can see, okay, all right, there's some things on converting, all right? Substituting stuff into the calculator, okay? Exponent rules is a big part of them, okay? You got to know your exponent rules. The power raising, okay? Multiplying, all right? Dividing, that's big, okay? All right, that's basically the first part of it, okay? Second part of the test is all the multiplication. Got to understand how the boxes work. These times this gives you that. Okay, you got to be able to go back and forth. All right. With division, same thing. Got to be able to go back and forth. All right. Addition and subtraction, and then after the multiplication part, you have all your factoring. That's what we worked on last chapter. So go ahead, go through that a couple times, and you should be fine.